Okay, so hi all. Today I'm going to take you around this little VW Caddy camper that I've been working on. It's actually been commissioned by a lovely lady called Katie who bought our first van, which was a Citroen Relay, much larger van than this one, and I think that was the inspiration behind getting this done, was just to have something that could be used as a daily run around, and it's just going to be much easier to handle on the roads. So we'll take you through a few different bits and pieces, and I'll start with the window frames here. These have actually been made by steam bending the wood, so all the timber here has been cut down to about 5 or 6 mil thick, and then it's put into this big old steam bending box, and it's just got loads of heat and steam inside. All gets absorbed by the wood itself for about an hour, and then it becomes very pliable, so you can then basically clamp it to some sort of former or a template, which we've taken off this window, and leave it for a day or two, and then you've got all these lovely curves that fit to the shape of the window. And I'll leave a link in the description for how we did that, because we did actually film that if anyone's interested in doing a similar thing. And then they've all been finished off with these little oak dowels as well, and she also asked that there be some sort of exterior place to sort of prep food and things. So we've got this little drop down table that can be locked away when the vehicle's in transit, and then you can just unpop the fabric there, and then there's a couple of dowels that allow this to basically sit in place, and there you've got some exterior workspace when the weather's good. Okay, so just looking in the interior of the van then, we've basically got this single bed. It's actually 1.8 meters long, believe it or not, and it kind of turns into a small double. We've got this sort of pull-out bed frame here to allow that to happen. That actually pulls out into 3 sections, which I'll show you shortly. So we've got about 2.2 meters of space in the rear, so that's given us enough room to have this kitchen unit at the very back, which has got a cool box inside. Show you a little bit more about that shortly. But I'll start here. So we've got some storage here. Got 2 of those. And there's also a wheel arch box down here, hence why that's all covered up. Got some overhead storage above here. We've also got a USB socket, and we've got a mains plug socket as well. So the mains plug socket only runs when you're on a campsite. There's no inverter on board. But the 12 volt system is all set up for off-grid use. We've actually got a solar panel on top of the roof, so that's a 100 watt Renogy solar panel, and we've got an MPPT solar charge controller, which should be nice and efficient to get as much energy out of that little panel as we can. There's also a split charge relay, which is like a voltage sensing one, so that will just switch on and off automatically when the vehicle's in motion. And also, of course, we've got the mains hookup. Moving on to the bed, as you can see, the cushion system's a little odd in all various shapes and sizes. We've got this little recessed storage here, so that's why we've got these kind of L-shaped cushions in this part. And so because of that, it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle getting it all to fit together, but this will pull out in 3 sections as well, hence why it's also in so many separate shapes. But the idea was to have kind of an L-shaped sofa, so those rear doors can be open when the weather's good. And you know, I think Katie's been doing that, just admiring the view as and when she can. But these, for instance, that will sit under there, support that, and this little spare cushion sits in there like so. And then you can kind of sit in here and just look out the rear windows, which is cool. But yeah, I'll make this whole thing up and then you can see what it's like. So there we have it. It's kind of a small double, but
with a little head pillow.
Tiny little head pillow, look. That can be for Eddie the dog. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've forgotten. We've got 5 of these. These are actually quite soft and collapsible. I think Katie was keen to have something that was nice and lightweight in here, but it provides loads of storage anyway for things like clothes and other bits and pieces. So I've just popped inside then just to illustrate how the dining table is put together. So the legs here, this is the underside, are just routed into place. And then you've got a plain side on the top face. These will just pop out. And then we can hook this onto this copper rail here, which which we've made just using some 15mm copper piping. These have got dowels on either end. One end will pop into that side unit there, and the other one will just pop into the table itself. And same again on the other side. One into the side unit. It's a really usable table. It's you know, a good size. I think she wants to work remotely, so it should give her plenty of surface area to work on and a nice little place to eat. So this is stowed away just behind the kitchen unit here, which I'll probably show you next. We've got 3 different lights on this system. We've got 2 little LED spotlights here. There's one little LED tape light within the recessed storage unit, and we've got a couple of LED lights here. So there's a main kill switch just underneath the passenger seat for all the electrics, and we've made this kind of custom I don't know what you call it, a display panel. So there you got your main spotlights, your tiny little recessed storage unit one, which might be quite nice and cozy at night time, and then you've got this which provides some light if you want to prep any food there, as well as all along the bottom of the side unit. Okay, so just briefly taking you around the kitchen unit then. So we've got a solar charge controller down here. You can see the digital display, which will read out quite an accurate estimation of what the battery's charge is at, and obviously changes the functions here through this little window. Got a little bit of storage here, a little bit of storage up top as well. This is a little pull-out drawer, just for like cutlery and things like that. Katie didn't want a fixed hob unit, so designed the space to fit this little kitchen unit exactly. And this can be taken out obviously and used on the exterior table as well. But if she wants to use it here, she can obviously just set it up top like so, and then just pop it away. It's got little gas cartridges in it. So we've got another little storage unit here. It's actually really deep. It goes up to about there. Loads of room for storing tins and things like that. And then you've got your cool box here, which is actually recessed into the kitchen unit itself. So this is hinged, so you can lift this up, as is the lid. There's loads of space in here actually for stuff. I think it's about a 35 litre fridge, 12 volt cool box. It's got a little plug which is on the opposite side of the kitchen unit, so you could by all means actually take this out and transport it with you. It's got a little USB charger on here as well. And then you can obviously set the temperature and everything from here and switch it on and off and isolate it from the cool box itself. But that's made by Alpacool. It's actually very reasonably priced, and I think it's quite a tidy little unit, so I was quite impressed with that. Okay, coming towards the end of the kitchen unit, then we've got our little sink and tap unit. Got this little oak topper to cover it up when it's not in use. The oak was actually very kindly given to us by Katie's daughter's boyfriend, Alex. He's a lovely chap. He works at an oak timber framers, so he very kindly gave us all this oak to use on the worktops and the tabletops too. Katie suggested using the salad bowl for a sink, which was far more cost effective. It cost about a tenner to do. So this tap here, I've just repurposed with a few bits of copper pipe and made this kind of steampunk kind of thing. It's actually got a submersible pump in one of the jerry cans here. We've also got a little 12 volt pressure switch, which is just underneath the sink itself. So when I turn this dial, it will pick up that there's a release in pressure and the water will begin flowing through. I've actually done a little video on that, so I'll leave a link in the description if anyone wants to make a little copper pipe tap like this and understand all of the pressure switch malarkey with it. Speaking of the jerry cans, we've got 2 here. So you've got this one here for the wastewater, and this is for the fresh water. I'll just show you the switch that we're using. Sorry, submersible pump that we're using. It's all frozen, it's so cold here at the moment. So it's just a little Whale submersible pump. I think this was probably about £10–15. It wasn't much at all. And they can literally just be pushed into the jerry cans like so. These are both just 9 litre or 9.5 litre jerry cans, so they're not too heavy to cart around when you want to fill them up. And then we've also got a little bit of storage here and a little bit of storage under the bed as well. So just quickly show you, this is where all our electrics are kept. One of the cool things about the VW Caddy is it's got these really good recessed kind of storage areas behind the driver's and the passenger's seat. So the other one on the other side is actually not being used at all. It'd be ideal for kind of storing shoes and things like that once they've been muddy if you've been out hiking for the day. But this was ideal for the leisure battery. So there's a 100 amp hour leisure battery behind here, which has been isolated. And then all the 12 volt stuff's here. So that's our kill switch, which will turn all the 12 volt electrics on. This is a really good leisure battery charger, so it will trickle charge the battery and maintain it really nicely. And then all the 12 volt fuses, the two 30 volt circuit breakers and the split charge relay is all in this box as well. In terms of curtains and things, we've got these two curtains at the back here to give us a bit of privacy at night. They've been made so that they've got some blackout lining on one side, and she's chosen this kind of funky seagull fabric on the other. We use some copper piping again here to use as the curtain rail. These can just be pulled along like so at night time. I've actually got these little twine tie backs as well, which hold it in place when the vehicle's in transit. And we've also got a little bit of overhead storage here as well. Try to maximise the storage as much as we can in this van, even though it's quite small. This is actually an analog display as well, by the way, along the switches here. So it's probably not quite as accurate as the solar charge controller, but you know, kind of tells you when it's on. It looks kind of cool. And I'll show you the blinds as well. So these are the blinds that we've made. They're kind of cool because you can fold these down when you want to stow them away. But they're also insulated, so I've actually sewn some insulation into here, so it should hopefully keep it a little warmer and stop tons of condensation building up on the windows as well. Again, blackout lining on one side, so no light's going to come through, and you've got these little pockets as well. They've got suction cups to hold them against the window frame. Some people use magnets, but obviously we've got this oak frame around here, so magnets aren't really an option because I can't actually reach the metal anymore. But yeah, this will just sucker in place like so, and there's 3 of these, so there's one for every window, and that will give you plenty of privacy at night time.